Have you ever wondered why some of the smartest men who succeed in their careers, build discipline, earn respect, and carry real intelligence and still end up confused, rejected, or blindsided by women? It doesn't matter if they're from New York, London, Sydney, Los Angeles, or Toronto. The story is painfully the same. You can take a man who has the discipline to wake up at 5 a.m., the strength to push through brutal challenges, the intelligence to solve problems that half the world can't understand, and yet put him in front of a woman he genuinely cares about, and suddenly he becomes hesitant, confused, emotional, or lost. Why? Because women don't test your knowledge, they test your awareness. A man can master business. He can master fitness. He can master money. He can master his future. But when it comes to women, he makes mistakes so subtle, so invisible, so psychologically quiet, that he doesn't even realize he's sabotaging himself. And the most painful part? These mistakes don't come from weakness. They come from the very qualities that make him strong. Good intentions, pure heart, loyalty, honesty, logic, consistency, predictability, everything women say they want, yet secretly become emotionally distant from. Because women don't respond to logic. They don't respond to structure. They don't respond to predictable, perfect masculine reasoning. They respond to emotion, energy, presence, unpredictability, and psychology. A woman doesn't fall for the man who says the right thing. She falls for the man who feels right. So when a smart man uses logic where she uses emotion, when he uses intelligence where she uses intuition, when he uses reason where she uses feeling, he ends up losing attraction he could have built, ruining a connection he could have deepened, and chasing validation he never should have given. The tragedy isn't that he's weak. The tragedy is that he's blind to the emotional dimension of attraction. And here's the part most men never admit. Some of the smartest men are the easiest for women to emotionally overpower. Not because women are manipulative, but because men expect emotional interactions to follow logical rules. They don't. They never will. Today I'm going to reveal 9 mistakes smart men make with women. Mistakes that Stoic philosophy exposes with absolute brutal clarity. Some of the points you hear today will sting. Some will feel disturbingly accurate. Some will sound like I'm describing your exact experiences from the past 3 years. Some will feel like truths you've sensed your entire life but never had the words to explain. But once you understand these mistakes, once you see the psychology beneath the surface, once you recognize how attraction truly works, you will walk differently. You will talk differently. You will text differently. You will date differently. You will connect differently. Because attraction isn't about looks. It's not about money. It's not about charm. It's not about being good enough. Attraction is about awareness. The awareness to understand emotional laws most men never learn. And when you master awareness, you master the dynamic. Not by manipulating women, but by mastering yourself. So let's dive deep. Not with gimmicks, not with tactics, not with games, but with Stoic mastery, masculine presence, and modern dating psychology that exposes everything hidden beneath the surface. Let's begin. Mistake 1. Believing that doing everything right makes you deserve her. Every smart man eventually makes this mistake. He thinks, I treat her well. I'm honest. I'm stable. I'm loyal. Why doesn't she choose me? He assumes relationships work like academics. Do the work, get the grade. But women aren't grading your effort. They're responding to your energy. In a city like London or Toronto, you'll find thousands of men who say, I'm a good guy. Why doesn't she see it? And the answer is always the same. Because attraction is not a reward for being good. It's a reaction to being aligned with yourself. Stoicism teaches that you control your actions, not the outcome. The moment a man treats her interest as something he's earned, he steps into entitlement, and entitlement destroys magnetism. Attraction isn't something you deserve. It's something you inspire. A woman doesn't fall for a man because he checks boxes. She falls because she feels something she can't explain. And when a man focuses on pleasing her instead of expressing himself, she senses it instantly. Her respect fades, her attraction dips, and she slowly, quietly detaches. Smart men lose women not because they're bad men, but because they expect cause and effect in a world driven by emotion. The Stoic lesson? Do right because it's who you are, not because it earns you anything. Mistake 2. Over-communicating feelings too early. This is one of the biggest invisible traps. Not because expressing feelings is wrong, but because the timing is wrong. Smart men communicate clearly. They're confident. They're bold. They express their intentions. But early emotional availability often creates emotional imbalance. Here's what happens. He feels a connection. He expresses it. He expects her to meet him at the same emotional level. But she's not there yet. She's still observing, still evaluating, still feeling him out. Instead of deepening connection, he accidentally creates pressure, and pressure kills attraction. A woman needs time to build emotional momentum. She needs curiosity before clarity, mystery before certainty, interest before vulnerability. Stoicism teaches emotional control, which means timing your expression, not suppressing it. Your feelings don't need to lead the conversation. Your presence does. The men who win with women don't rush emotions. They let connection develop naturally. Because when you reveal everything too soon, you remove the thrill, the tension, the unfolding. You replace mystery with monotony. And remember this, you can never speed up attraction. You can only destroy it by rushing. Mistake 3, trying to fix her problems. This one breaks more relationships than cheating, arguments, or conflict. A smart man listens. A smart man analyzes. A smart man solves. So when Sarah from New York says, "I had a horrible day at work," the smart man thinks she wants a solution, but she doesn't. She wants presence, emotion, empathy, not fixing, feeling. When Olivia from London says, "My friends keep creating drama," she's not asking for advice. She's asking for connection. Women process emotions externally. Men process internally. When a man tries to solve her pain, she subconsciously feels, "He's not listening. He's dismissing my feelings. He's detaching from the moment." She doesn't want solutions. She wants resonance. Stoic insight: control yourself, not her pain. Be present, not productive. Listen without the need to correct. And ironically, when a man stops trying to fix her, she starts coming to him more. She starts trusting him more. She starts opening more deeply because she feels safe, not managed. Mistake 4, giving too much attention too fast. Attention is a currency, but most smart men spend it like it's unlimited. They respond instantly. They overtext. They double text. They check her social media. They push the conversation. They initiate constantly. They think, "I'm showing interest." But what she feels is, "He has nothing else going on." Women don't fall for men who hover. They fall for men whose attention is earned, not automatically given. In cities like Sydney or Los Angeles, you'll find women surrounded by men giving them attention freely. Likes, comments, emojis, validation, constant messaging. But the man whose attention feels rare, intentional, and calm, he stands out instantly. Stoicism teaches that your focus is sacred. When a man gives too much attention too fast, he signals emotional scarcity, which instantly lowers attraction. Your life must remain the priority. Your mission must remain dominant. Your purpose must remain unshakable. Women are drawn to men whose attention is selective, not desperate, because selective attention signals value. Mistake 5, confusing kindness with weakness. This mistake destroys attraction before a relationship even begins. Smart men are polite. Smart men are respectful. Smart men are gentle. But somewhere along the line, they confuse kindness with compliance. And women sense the difference instantly. Kindness is strength. Compliance is fear. When a man says, "Whatever you want," or "It's okay, I don't mind," or
"I just want you to be happy,"
he thinks he's being supportive. But she reads it as, he has no standards. He has no backbone. Women do not want a man who submits to keep the peace. They want a man who leads with calm authority, not controlling, not demanding, not aggressive, just firm, grounded, certain. The Stoic lesson: a man must have internal rules, lines he will not cross, values he will not sacrifice, boundaries he will not break. Kindness is powerful, but kindness without boundaries is weakness. And women do not respect weakness. Your strength is not in how much you tolerate, but in how clearly you communicate who you are. Mistake 6, expecting her to think like a man. This is a silent relationship killer. Smart men assume women communicate with the same logic men use, but women communicate through subtlety, through tone, through energy, through small shifts, through emotional context. A man hears words, A woman hears meaning. A man listens to what she said. A woman listens to what she felt when saying it. When Emily from Manchester says, "I'm fine," she's rarely fine. When she says, "You don't have to come if you don't want to," she absolutely wants him to come. Not because she's manipulative, but because she's emotional. Women express feelings indirectly. It's biological, psychological, cultural. Smart men miss signals because they expect clarity. But clarity comes through presence, not logic. Stoicism teaches that awareness is the root of wisdom. When you listen without the need to judge, fix, or interpret, you begin to hear what she truly means. The man who gets women does not decode words. He reads energy. He notices shifts. He senses emotional frequency. He doesn't take everything literally. He pays attention to the subtext, and that's where connection lives. Mistake 7, making her the center of his world. You see this with good men everywhere. The moment they like a woman, they reorganize their entire life around her. They cancel plans. They ignore friends. They stop training. They stop grinding. They stop focusing on themselves. They think, if I give her everything, she'll stay. But the opposite happens. When a man abandons his center, he loses his gravity. And when he loses his gravity, she loses attraction. Women do not fall for men who orbit them. They fall for men who have a life, a mission, a purpose, and a direction. In New York or Melbourne, you see this clearly. The man with the busy life, the man who is hard to access, the man who is building something, he's the one women chase. Not because he's distant, but because he's grounded in something bigger than her. The Stoics believed a man must define his purpose with absolute clarity. A purpose that doesn't bend for emotion or desire. When you make her your world, she eventually leaves. Because she didn't fall for a man who worshipped her. She fell for a man who inspired her. The moment you lose yourself, you lose her. Mistake 8, ignoring red flags because of attraction. Smart men analyze everything: business, work, money, goals. But when it comes to women, they ignore what they see because they fall for how she makes them feel. She's inconsistent? He rationalizes it. She's disrespectful? He forgives too fast. She avoids accountability? He blames himself. She gives mixed signals? He thinks, I just need to try harder. He prioritizes emotional excitement over emotional reality. But Stoicism teaches, do not let desire blind you to truth. When you ignore red flags, you're not being loyal. You're being attached. A woman shows you who she is long before she commits. A man's job is to observe without fantasy, without attachment, without denial. Not all beauty comes with peace. Not all affection comes with stability. Not all attraction leads to alignment. The smart man becomes wise the moment he values long-term peace over short-term passion. And here's the truth most men avoid. The red flags you ignore in the beginning become the heartbreak you face in the end. Mistake 9, being afraid to walk away.
This
Right here is the most fatal mistake a man can make with a woman. Because nothing exposes a man's emotional strength or emotional weakness more clearly than his willingness to walk away. See, a smart man wants peace. He wants stability. He wants harmony. He wants to make things work. He wants to avoid unnecessary conflict. He doesn't want to lose something he values. And because of that, he becomes vulnerable to his own fear. So he tolerates behavior he shouldn't tolerate. He lets disrespect slide. He forgives too quickly. He apologizes when he shouldn't. He accepts inconsistency. He justifies her mood swings. He explains away her coldness. He convinces himself that it's not a big deal. But every time he does this, a part of him dies. He knows she's pulling away, but he holds on tighter. He knows he should say something, but he stays silent. He knows she's giving mixed signals, but he keeps trying to prove his worth. He knows the energy is off, but he blames himself instead of confronting reality. And deep down, the truth is simple. He fears losing her. But here's the paradox every man must understand. The moment a man fears losing a woman, he already has. Not because she wants him to be cold. Not because she wants him to be distant. But because fear replaces confidence. Fear replaces self-respect. Fear replaces masculine grounding. Fear replaces the energy that made her attracted to him in the first place. When a man is afraid to walk away, he starts negotiating his value. And nothing kills attraction faster than that. A woman does not fall for a man who clings. She falls for the man who stands tall even when he's hurting. She falls for the man who chooses principle over emotion. She falls for the man who can let go of something he wants for the sake of who he is. And this is where Stoicism enters with brutal clarity. Stoicism teaches detachment, not from love, but from outcome. Meaning, you can care deeply, love passionately, connect sincerely, but you must never be owned by the outcome. A man must be willing to lose anything that costs him his peace, even if it's the woman he loves, even if it's the relationship he prayed for, even if it breaks him for a while. Because here's the truth men learn only after suffering. The moment you sacrifice your self-respect to keep her, you stop being the man she wanted in the first place. Walking away is not abandonment. It's not cruelty. It's not manipulation. It's not a strategy to get her back. It is a principle. A man must be willing to walk away from disrespect, from inconsistency, from chaos disguised as passion, from manipulation hidden as emotion, from a woman who wants attention but not commitment, from a woman who wants validation but not partnership, from a woman who plays games because she's terrified of real connection, not as a threat, not as a tactic, not as revenge, not to teach her a lesson, but because a man who respects himself does not negotiate his worth. And here's the fascinating part. The moment a man truly becomes willing to walk away, and not as a bluff, but with calm, silent certainty, the entire dynamic changes. Her attitude shifts. Her tone changes. Her respect returns. Her attraction deepens, because she suddenly feels the energy of a man who is not afraid of loss. Women are drawn to men whose value doesn't depend on their approval. When a man can walk away calmly, not yelling, not emotional, not desperate, not pleading, but quietly, firmly, with his dignity intact, she sees him differently. She feels his value on a deeper level. She recognizes his strength, not the loud, aggressive kind, but the quiet, dangerous kind, the kind that doesn't beg, the kind that doesn't chase, the kind that doesn't crumble. And if she returns, she doesn't return with games. She doesn't return with half effort. She doesn't return with mixed signals. She returns with seriousness, with clarity, with respect. Because she knows this man is not afraid to lose her, which means losing her is not how she keeps him. But here's the part most men never consider. Even if she doesn't return, even if walking away means it's over, a man who walks away from the wrong woman walks toward the right life. He walks toward peace, toward clarity, toward emotional freedom, toward purpose, toward a relationship aligned with his self-worth, not one held together by fear. He becomes stronger, sharper, wiser, more grounded, less reactive, more in control. Because walking away doesn't just end a relationship, it ends the weaker version of you. And in that moment, a new man is born. A man who no longer fears loss, who no longer tolerates disrespect, who no longer clings to what's breaking him. A man who realizes what you walk away from defines you just as much as what you choose. And that is the masculine power women feel but can never fully describe. Final message. Smart men fail with women not because they're weak, and not because they're unworthy, but because they're operating from a system that was never designed for emotional reality. They use logic in moments that require emotional intelligence. They bring analysis to situations where a woman is craving presence. They offer predictability when mystery would have created attraction. They choose attachment when patience would have revealed the truth. It's not that they're doing everything wrong. It's that they're doing the right things at the wrong time, with the wrong energy, from the wrong mindset. But everything changes the moment a man applies Stoic awareness, when he stops trying to control outcomes and starts mastering his inner reactions. When he learns to respond instead of react. When he becomes grounded, calm, measured, and intentional, his entire presence shifts. Women feel that shift before he even speaks. Because Stoicism builds a type of masculinity that can't be faked. A man who is unmoved by chaos. A man who doesn't beg for clarity, he becomes clarity. A man who doesn't chase validation, he is validation. A man who doesn't cling, he chooses, evaluates, and walks with purpose. This is the man women pursue. Women respect. Women trust. And women feel deeply safe around. But here's the real beauty of it. Even if no woman notices, even if no one praises him, even if people leave, misunderstand, or drift away, he remains whole. Because the Stoic man leads his own life. He is guided by principles, not desperation. By discipline, not impulse. By purpose, not emotional storms. And whether someone stays or walks away. Whether love blossoms or fades, whether life aligns or divides, he keeps moving forward. Not broken, not defeated, but elevated. Because a man who masters himself never loses. He simply outgrows. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.